Hello, welcome. Can I ask you please to have a seat so we can start? This auditorium is beautiful. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, thank you. You are just inaugurating because a few days ago, this was totally remodeling. 1,800 people, 2 levels. So guys, welcome, good evening. Let's start the official opening of this Congress of IFSO, now the Congress of Madrid. And it is my pleasure to invite the President of the Congress, my very, very good friend, Professor Antonio Torres.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. President, Almino Ramos. Well, guys, for me, I'd like, first of all, to welcome all of you to this old country, that's Spain. That's a very open country and very diverse. But also, it's a very extraordinary country, because we have many people with our arms open to embrace all of you in this country. And especially in this city, Madrid, you know, we used to say from Madrid to go to the heaven. Gonna be a very nice expression that all the Spaniards use. In Spanish, it's de Madrid al cielo. There is no other place to go. So welcome to Madrid. So I think it's time on my behalf to thank you, many people. But the first of all I'd like to thank is my own society, our own society of metabolic and bariatric surgery, SECO in Spanish, that allow me, you know, to present our bid to become the place where one World Congress of IFSO will be held in the future. It was some years ago, 4 years ago. This time, our society, now celebrating its 21st annual meeting, they allow me, you know, to work for organizing this meeting. So thank you, my colleagues from the SECO Society, for allowing me to do there. This year, 4 years ago, we didn't know yet who is going to be the president during the meeting, because the president of the society, the president of the IFSO, is extremely important for developing, planning, and putting on the meeting. Fortunately, we get Almino Ramos. I was so happy when I realized that my good friend Almino will be with me in this huge task. So the second person I'd like to thank is Almino Ramos. A big applause for him. You cannot imagine, guys, how hard he has been working for this meeting. I cannot explain by words. I only can explain by my global per secularum gratitude, Almino. You did an extraordinary job. You pushed not only me, but everyone, all over the world. You guys probably received his advice, his request for being here and helping us in developing this meeting. When we were planning more than 2 years ago the meeting, we were thinking, so what do you think are going to be the most important things we can put into the scene of our 24th World Congress meeting? And all of us, we agreed in being inclusive. It's one word we are been using during these 2 years, be inclusive. Everyone related and compromised with the fight against obesity can be here, can be exposed their ideas without any conflict, with all the respect one to the other. This is the reason we include all people that we were able to be aware of. This is the reason we have many organizations having meetings in this World Congress. And the other word we were in agreement is to be innovative, to do something new, because it's going to be important almost always to do things new. I think the idea of having, a training idea or a training mechanism all over the world under the IFSO umbrella was an idea, a goal that we will design in the future, and we wanted to start here during this week. Under the name of Advanced Training Center, ATC, we are including the 3 most important therapeutical arms we have in fighting against obesity surgically. I mean laparoscopy, endoscopy, and robotic. In this way, we cover one part, this is the surgery, but we also include medication. We ask for the main companies dealing with medicine to incorporate it here. Some of them are already here. I hope that in the future we will have the chance of including more of those people there. And also we wanted to have our integrated health people more here, saying what's going to be their approach to this multidisciplinary approach that's going to be essential for getting a success in fighting against obesity. A part of this ATC, we try to do something new. We have a session regarding the surgeon having operated by surgery. It'll be very important to know ourselves what we're going to do, how to select the treatment. We have the IFSO talks. This is like a secret. We don't know the subject that the people are dealing with. It's going to be a talk show. It's going to be very nice, I think. Tomorrow, Dr. Ramos will start with this kind of things. And of course, I think I'm going to finish this welcome to all of you, thanking the last but not least most important people in this meeting. It's my team, my working team. All my people at the hospital are going to be a huge work. Especially I would like to mention Dr. Sanchez Pernaute, Dr. Martin Esteban, Dr. Martin Garcia Almenta, Dr. Hernandez, Dr. Ayana, Dr. Pablo Talavera, all the staff of the unit of bariatric and metabolic surgery and upper GI, they are doing a lot of work. Do you know, guys, that yesterday in the postgraduate course about live surgery, we operating 24 patients, 1 day, 4 rooms at the same time. All the patients are doing very well. But it means that all the hospital, all the, even the administration, all our old hospital, our Hospital Clínico San Carlos, is a 200 years old hospital. All of them support this course, even transmission here, all the operation. So thank you for my, all my heart, of this guy, my team, and all the residents that also don't, it's not possible to say all their name because it's very, too many of them, and my gratitude to all of them. And finally, before giving the words to Dr. Ramos, I'd like to thank my family. My family, without them, especially my wife, Maribel, and my 3 sons, my two sons and my daughter are going to be impossible because I've been without them too many times, too much time. And I would like to, in a loud voice, recognize that in front of all of you to do that. So, again, thank you very much. And two advices. First, take advantage, especially the younger people, of all the acknowledgement and training and things you can learn here. That's a part. But please, enjoy this city. The weather is nice, the people are open, and the food is fantastic. Enjoy, please. And so, welcome. And now I got to ask Dr. Aniceto Baltasar is here. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Aniceto, I'm sorry. He's so humble. Let me before finishing, I didn't see you, sorry, my dear friend. I prepared some words for him, but I didn't realize that he was here. But never, I don't forget the words. Dr. Baltasar is not the president of this meeting. The next day, Spain and SECO was nominated as being, the nation, the country where this 24th meeting will be held 4 years after. The first person I thought was in him. So I called him and said, Aniceto, I think, because he was in not good shape this time, I told him, you have to be the honorary president of this meeting, because you deserve it. This guy did everything for bariatric and metabolic surgery in Spain, from the beginning and all over the world. He was a past president of IFSO. He also organized the World Congress of IFSO. I think he is the soul of our country in this field. And also his wife, Luisa, has accompanied us for all this time. I have asked a big applause for Aniceto. And now, you have the time of saying wherever you want. The stage is sure.
Good afternoon. SECO, we the Spaniards are really happy to have you here. It's a warm day for us. It's a beautiful time. At the beginning, in the 90s, it was very difficult to found a society. And we did in 1977. We were 26 surgeons. Today, SECO has 497. It's a beautiful society. We are very proud of it because we have excellent behavior, good understanding. We never had a fight in this society. I had lived with other people from different countries, and I knew that it was very difficult. And to tell you the truth, it was very hard with the university people. Very few university surgeons were involved. Actually, none of them were funded. So it was very hard because you were fighting from the back. And I know it's hard, but we grew very quickly. A lot of new people started to come with us. But the best of all, we got involved with the world community of bariatric surgeons. I think it's a unique society. It's a society where everyone has been helping the other. And from the times that we are doing simple procedures, we came later on to the laparoscopic one. And I think it has been the most difficult part of society, because many of our fairly very good open surgeons with extensive exposure to thoracic, vascular, and everything. But when laparoscopy came, practically no one was ready. It was so difficult. So you just cannot understand how difficult it was to do a laparoscopic surgery. And we have been so fortunate. They told me that I was the first surgeon who came to see them in San Diego. Tremendous. To go into the operating room and see a gastric bypass done in less than 1 hour. You were shocked. How can we do this? You know, it was nearly impossible. And then 3 years later, the same operation was done by Dr. Higa. It was presented, hands-on operation. Not with all the tools, just hands-on. And this was a very important step. So we are, I think I'm the happiest person in the world because I was able to be nearby those excellent surgeons and excellent societies and IFSO. I'll tell you a very funny story. It's not funny. I realized that the American community, they were having university surgeons and family-like surgeons. And they were changing the chairmanship from one to the other, and it was all excellent. But in Spain, when we found the society, we didn't have university surgeons. We spent like 10 years changing the presidents, but we didn't have university surgeons. And finally, we were very lucky. We got Antonio involved with us. He's the chief of surgery in the academic surgery in Madrid, and this gives us a real good balance, because you have to have two types of surgery, maybe. What happened now is in Spain, most of the not big regional community hospitals are doing bariatric surgery. This is excellent. Still, we have a long waiting list, but this bariatric surgery today is normal. Everyone understands that you have to have surgery and so on. So we are very proud. We are very proud of you when you came to Salamanca. You know, I have reserved the meeting hall in front of Bernabeu. It's the city center for meeting. But 4 months before the meeting, they told me, you know, we are going to have to do some small work in the municipal meeting hall. I said, oh, this doesn't look too good. You know, if you leave to politicians and they promise you that it's going to be ready, we better get out. I felt very happy. We have a very good time in Salamanca. What's happening there is that you have different hotels, small hotels. Everyone was walking to the meeting. You could see Salamanca Plaza and so on and so on. So it was very nice. We have a lot of people. It was pretty busy. And from then on, the world has changed. It's beautiful. The Europeans have their own regional meetings. The South American has their own ones. Actually, I was with the South American talking about how to engage and to get together. And they asked me, you know, Spain will come with us. I said, well, we are with you, with our heart, but we have to be in Europe, and we are in Europe, and we stay in Europe. But it was beautiful to see how Asia is growing so much, so fast, and doing so many operations all over the world. I was impressed with pediatric surgery. I'll tell you a story you might not know. There's a surgeon in India who has done more than 100 cases. It has not to do with eating. It has to do with a type of patient. I mean, it's genetic. But he's doing operation in 4 and 6 years old people. And he came to Salamanca and he realized what type of world we were getting to. So the future is impossible to know. But the present is very nice, it's wonderful. The second thing, best of all, is the friendship of bariatric community. I had not seen any community where you have so many friends all over the world, and you ask them for help, and they will give it to you. So this is great. So today we're feeling very happy. I wish you to understand and know that we are, happy for everyone, for you, for us, for IFSO. I think it's an excellent community. It's good. It's still growing. It should grow more, but I think we are happy up to now. So I want to give you my welcome. And Antonio, you know him. he worked like crazy. He'll be everywhere and help everyone. I was very happy also. I own switches. I have been doing duodenal switch for years, and to know that this modification of the switch procedure, making simple, is very popular, only a few years since the beginning. So we are growing, we are doing good, we are going fast, and I want you to know that I feel proud of you, and to give you our welcome to Madrid. I hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Wow. Professor Aniceto Baltasar, it is one of the legends of bariatric surgery in IFSO. I know that the majority here, you know exactly what is IFSO, but we have some guys, some guests that they don't know. So let me tell you that this in blue here is the logo of IFSO, International Federation for the Surgery of Obesity and Metabolic Disorders. How old is IFSO? Who knows? So this is our Congress number? Look, 24. Guys, 24. So I think that IFSO, it is in between 24 or 25 years old. There is a specific date for the anniversary of IFSO, Manuela? No? But I think that as we are very young, no, Antonio? We are very young. 47, Antonio, 52, Baltasar, 55. So we are pretty young surgeons, pretty young guys here. And we want to know more about IFSO. So let me see some of the guys that worked. Yeah, you have the best article in obesity surgery about IFSO, the history of IFSO. So tell me, what for you is the most important thing or something important in the history of IFSO for you? Professor Jan Greer for Netherlands.
In the history, that's very difficult. I have to summarize 25 years. Been there from the start. But the best thing is that you meet all your colleagues and friends and that you can learn from each other. That's the best thing.
So I remember, let's remember the guys that were in that photo, that famous picture that you have in your article. Antonio, give me a microphone, please.
Sure.
Thank you. So, Jan, Nicola Scopinaro, I think 16 or 17?
Again.
You remember Nicola?
Yes. You need all the names.
Yes.
My
Let's
God.
go. Let's go. Let's put a memory to work.
Andrew Jameson, George Cowan, Mervyn Dietel, Nicola Scopinaro, well, everybody actually. And the theater was not on that picture, I think. Well, you ask me and I don't know all the names.
Okay, let's ask for some help.
Everybody was there
Yes.
from the first day.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Harry, help us.
Martin Fried was another one that was at in that photo. In
Yeah.
Stockholm, 1995 was the original meeting, but the first meeting was
So
in
IFSO
1996.
started in 1995, guys.
Correct.
1995.
Correct. And the first meeting was in 1996 in Prague. So there we are.
So at that time, how much we have about, if you talk about complications of bariatric surgery, how much we used to have in that time?
How many people? How much what? We used to discuss all the other problems associated with the different operations we were doing. There were bypasses and there were VBGs and it was before, well, banding had just got started at that, because that started in 1994. So there were a number of different operations that we were able to discuss.
Yes. But if we look over time, now we are offering, thank you. Now we are offering for our patients procedures with 1% of complications, less than this. So Alan, you are part of this history. You are not in that picture? That famous one? I think, no? No. Too young. Alan, there was something that was very important in your journey, because this guy, Alan Whitgrove, was another legend. Something important in your pathway to publish the first series of laparoscopic gastric bypass. I know that's very long.
Yeah, in the publication of it, and I think in the publication of our first series is somewhat important from an IFSO standpoint, because what we wanted to do was share our experience. And I think that's important with IFSO, in a world experience of sharing for everybody who treats this disease. And so I think that's the unity there.
But I want to know, Alan, something that is not written in the book. When, because you used to do open procedure, when you look for the patient, you think, I can do laparoscopic, and I will try laparoscopic.
Okay, so here's the things you don't know. Nobody's going to know. So the first case didn't take an hour. The first case took 8.5 hours. We weren't exactly sure how we were going to get through it. The hospital didn't charge the patient anything. Anesthesia didn't charge the patient anything. The instruments were donated. Our time was donated. My partner, Wes Clark, and I decided if it didn't go well, we could always open. We knew how to do that. And we didn't plan on anything else that day. We didn't plan on having dinner that night. We were just dedicated to getting that first case done.
Was great. We are here because of you. We are here because Charlie. Charlie, tell us something important about your story with IFSO.
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm not that young as you mentioned, but thank you for that.
You are my age.
I was a founding member.
We are 47.
25. So I met Alan 99 it was Naples. He presented his first series of laparoscopic gastric bypass. And I said, I never will do this, never ever. And 1 year later...
And you thought, this guy is crazy.
No, at that time...
This guy is crazy, huh?
At that time, I was a banding fan, and for me, banding was the procedure per se. I had to revise all the VBGs, or half of the VBGs of my colleague, Emmanuel Herl, who brought me in this society as a founding society.
Was one of the founders.
But back to Alan. When he presented, I said the laparoscopic gastric bypass, 8 hours, 7 hours, it's impossible compared to this half an hour banding, and the patients are doing fine. But 1 year later, I started with laparoscopic bypass. Thanks to Hans Lonrod, and unfortunately he's not here, but teachers like Cardier, like Jacques Himpens, those people you have to be very, very thankful, because they inspired you what to do, how to do it most safe way. So I think that is all what I want to say.
That was great. My friend Jax, Charlie didn't mention you. Yes? So, you, tell me something important in between you and IFSO.
Well, I want to correct.
Guys, look.
I want to correct one thing.
All of
first.
these guys are legend in bariatric surgery, huh?
The first adjustable band laparoscopically was done by Guy Bernard Cardier in 1992 in October, and I was there. And just like the first bypass, it took about 8 hours. So we came a long way.
You used to work together with him or no?
Yeah, with Guy Bernard, sure. We still are occasionally, but you know, we're both a bit older now. And but IFSO, I was very much attracted by the idea of IFSO, and I must say it's thanks to Jan Willem, who I have to owe a lot to, by the way, who introduced me basically to the BAPS, which was the Society of Belgium and the Netherlands, and because of that, we were part automatically of IFSO. And so, so this guy meant a lot, not only for me personally, but also for the history locally in Europe for IFSO.
Good.
Thank you.
Great, Jax. So, out of these talks, you not listen in the Congress, just here. Rafa, let's put some Latino sauce in this talk. Tell me something about your history with IFSO.
Well, the Latin Americans, Brazil and Mexico were in that unforgettable meeting in Stockholm in '95. Arthur Garrido and myself, we were there trying to figure out what can we do in terms of bariatric surgery. And I have to confess that nobody believed on us. Especially in Latin America and in Mexico, rejection towards bariatric surgery was legend.
That's my comment. When in your
that,
hospital,
yes.
you start doing the first cases, they used to say, wow, Rafa is a crazy guy.
Yeah, they rejected that, and I was expelled from the Society in Mexico because it was said that...
because you are a visionary.
Yes.
And they cannot view that.
But then, as we say, we see what we have done, and we are here today, I think passion for life, passion for good surgery, passion for technique, passion for ethics in bariatric surgery has the root of success.
Good, thank you. But we have upstairs a very important guy in the history of IFSO also. He used to use a hat, a cap. Do you know him? So, Professor Matthias Fobi. We are trying to explain, Mao, for these young guys about the history of IFSO, because IFSO is not a week or a month society, federation. As I know that you are integrated in IFSO in the last 5 years, I want to know something about you and your history with IFSO. Beautiful logo, blue, we can see there.
Yes.
Antonio Aniceto.
Yeah. Well, IFSO had its birth, as you were told, at a meeting in Stockholm in 1995. But before that...
What place? What place?
Stockholm.
Stockholm.
Yeah.
That
Sweden.
was the first IFSO Congress.
No, that's where we got together and agreed to form IFSO.
Okay.
Yes, that's the original picture. I happen not to be in that picture, but that's where we agreed to
In
form
Seoul.
this. Yes.
You were in that picture?
No,
in
I was
Seoul.
not. I was there in Seoul, yes. But I don't want to make it long, but IFSO really started as an international symposium by Malfobi in Los Angeles. And then in 1979, I met a friend from Genoa, Dr. Scopinaro, and he had a yearly meeting in Italy. And before then, the only society that met regularly was what was called the Bariatric Colloquium. That was by Dr. Mason. So I, in Los Angeles, invited international surgeons to the meeting in Los Angeles, and Dr. Scopinaro invited international doctors to the meeting in Genoa. And from there, we started traveling to different countries. Like we all went together to Israel, and then, I can't remember the exact sequence, and when we went to Stockholm, that's when we decided to form IFSO. And that's how IFSO started.
You know more that in Brazil, for many, many years, the patient come to us and used to say, I want a procedure. It's not a gastric bypass, not a bariatric surgery. I want a Fobi Capella procedure. So you train, I think, a lot of groups from Latin America that stayed with you. Salinas from Venezuela, Arthur from Brazil.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys. And you did a very, very nice work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And to not make this so long, let's just hear Professor Henry Burkwald.
Thank you.
Is good?
What?
Yes, good.
Is it working? Okay. What I'd like to say is, IFSO started, as ASMBS did, with an emphasis on bariatric surgery, obesity surgery. But by the 1990s, through the great work of Dr. Scopinaro, the original founder of IFSO, and Dr. Walter Porres from East Carolina University in the United States, we saw that what we did, though we don't really know what we're doing, but we're doing metabolic surgery. And in 2004, we published the first meta-analysis from my group in Minnesota showing that metabolic bariatric surgery is not only therapeutic for obesity, but it resolves diabetes, hypertension, obstructive sleep apnea, hypercholesterolemia. And so as we go forward in the 21st century, we are a metabolic society practicing metabolic surgery, and we've defined this as operating on normal organs, organs that aren't sick, to achieve an internal metabolic result. And that's what we're starting to do. So our field is not only concerned with the greatest epidemic in the world today, obesity, but it's concerned with 80% of all diseases which are metabolic in origin. So I love the past, but here's to the future.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and I'm very, very happy because I could see that Nicola just joined us, and he is here just in the front. Let me try to reach him.
We applaud for Professor Scominaro.
Yeah.
You know, he has to ask him.
We are talking about the history of IFSO. And looking for you, I can see that logo. You are the history of IFSO.
I was simply upstairs.
Oh, you are upstairs.
Because
Good.
There's a place reserved for handicapped people. So I was staying there, and I couldn't descend.
We are
because of this.
very happy that you could do it.
So I asked how to do it, and it's a very complicated way to reach the ground floor of this auditorium. But I just wanted you to know that I was here. So
Good. I'm pretty happy.
I would have never missed the opening ceremony. But I don't want to give any speech. You already said everything. IFSO was actually founded. The only thing I would like to precise that in 1975, the one who gave me the suggestion of founding something that was called became IFSO was George Cowan.
Wow.
George Cowan was a wonderful person. There is
another legend.
Yeah.
Of our cowboys, huh?
Cowan, yeah. So and then I told him, why don't you do that? And he said, no, if you do it, you are important enough to collect people. so I did, but I consider George a co-founder of this.
Okay. Thank you.
So the story is complete.
Thank you so much. Well, wow. We have the second part, but I cannot finish this talk without to talk a little about my friend, Antonio Torres. Antonio, I cannot remember very well, but was in the Congress in Latin America, in Cusco, in Peru, that you told me, you should be president of IFSO. And for me, at that time, was something pretty impossible because I just joined bariatric surgery. I'm nothing to be in the top of one organization with these guys. I'm very thankful for you. You helped me a lot. And since we decided to do this Congress, we had a lot of meetings, personal, by chat, by webinar, by phone, and we never had any problem, zero problem in organization of this meeting. So you are like a father for the bariatric surgeons in order to be severe when they need some severity and when to give a kiss and a hug, then they deserve a kiss and a hug. So thank you so much. You give me a big opportunity. You can see that this organization is much bigger. It's very important. We have a huge history to talk. And I would like to ask you a big applause for all of these guys, please. That they made the history of IFSO. They are the guys. Thank you. So we will continue, and I think the first one will be Tracy. Yeah?
Yeah.
Tracy. So let me introduce you, Tracy Martinez. This year, I think we could do a very, very good job, and one of the highlights of this Congress, Tracy, will be the IFSO cookbook. So tell us, please, the history of the IFSO cookbook.
All right, well, thank you.
Can we have the IFSO cookbook here in the screen?
We don't have a slide of the cookbook, but it's available here at the conference. So it's a great pleasure to introduce the cookbook at this meeting. It was something we had talked about for a few years, but Dr. Ramos told us it will get done this year, and so he is a great motivator, so it happened. Our mission was to bring to our community healthy recipes from around the globe to share with our patients, our family, and our friends, and we've achieved that. There were 140 recipes submitted to be considered, and the Integrative Health had a selection committee, and of that, 40 recipes were selected for our first cookbook. This was based on the appeal of the recipe, the nutritional content, the innovation, and the ease in preparation. So they'll be available for purchase at this meeting. I also want to thank two people in the audience, and I'd like them to stand up. Sylvia Faria and Mary O'Kane. They were co-authors on this, our dietitians that did a lot of work, so thank you and appreciation. We'll also have the two top recipes for a competition at the gala, so we'll be able to see who the top chef is of IFSO this year. So I just wanted to thank you again for the opportunity, Dr. Ramos, and please pick up your book and share it with your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tracy. As I promised you, this is a innovative opening ceremony. Some mistake anyway, but at the end of the day, as you realize, our president, Dr. Almino Ramos, is eager to give his next president to Dr. Lillian Cow from Australia over there. He wants to be marking a new route in this direction. And now let me introduce the next speaker. It's going to be, Professor Jean-Marc Chevalier from Paris, La France. He's going to present us another huge effort that the Federation IFSO as a core has been performing during last year. The first, we already saw with Tracy Martini. They did a huge effort in the recipe book, and now Jean-Marc Chevalier with other colleagues, they did extraordinary effort in terms of having this one anastomosis gastric bypass book. Please, Jean-Marc, show us, your thoughts about that.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to present you one of the last sharing experiences, as Alan just mentioned, that we could organize with IFSO. Thanks to Almino and thanks to IFSO, we met. Can we have the next one? Next slide. Yes, I thought it would be the picture. So we met in Germany end of this July. There were 52 experts, contributors from all the chapters of IFSO, and we had to answer around 80 different questions on the one anastomosis bypass. It was time to do it because last year IFSO did an official position statement on this, and we must thank Almino and IFSO for having organized that. Do we have the nice picture of the comfortable state we had? No? So yes, here it is. 52 experts from all over the world. We had a comfortable meeting organized by Johnson & Johnson in Germany. And the result of it is a book. Is the book that you can find here, and probably in the very next future, we'll have also the answers of the consensus. More than 70% of the questions could reach a consensus. So we can think that this is new part to help us improving how to treat our patients in the future with these new procedures. Thank you, Almino, and thank to Johnson & Johnson for having organized that, and thank to all the experts. Special thank to Kamal Mahawar, Wendy Brown, who reviewed the questions, and Lilian Coe also, who are co-authors of this book.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are launching officially here 3 books. The first one, Tracy just presented to you, that is the IFSO cookbook. The second, Jean-Marc, that is a practical guide on one anastomosis gastric bypass. And another issue that is very important to us at IFSO is to have data about our patients, because if you have data about our patients, we can improve our stance, we can offer better procedures, better treatment to our patients. And in order to have data, we have to registry. So let's be inviting Wendy Brown, that is the chair of our committee of registry, to present our book of registry. This one, I'm sure we have the picture. Can we have the picture now of the registry book?
Pueden poner la otra presentación, la segunda presentación.
Thank you very much. Well done. It's my great pleasure to present to you today our 5th IFSO Global Registry report. It's been a great undertaking of IFSO to start this global registry, and when we think about what we saw in our report in 2018, when there was just under 400,000 reports from 51 countries, I'm proud to say that in this report we have 833,000 patients represented from 61 different countries from 5 continents. We can see that there's been a slight change in the shift of procedures over that time, and it's really a great achievement of the whole team to have this book, and I hope that you can get a copy of it. I think it's really important to think about where we've come from. Richard Wellborn from the UK really drove the IFSO Global Registry, and back in 2014 we had around 100,000 patients that included, and that was the Montreal meeting, and in a very short time we've managed to get that number up to 833,000 patients. This means that we can now see very interesting country-to-country variations. We can look at descriptive data like the BMIs before surgery, the gender ratios, the way that practice is changing, and the way we perform our practices. And I think that's really interesting information, and as time goes by, is going to become very valuable. So looking forward, we want to build on this success of the Global Registry to date. We unequivocally have shown that we can do it, and now we want to try to do it maybe a little bit better and really seek to give you the most credible and transparent information available on bariatric and metabolic surgery. So the Executive Board of IFSO has established a registry committee, and that committee has a broad base with representation from all of our chapters, and we're working towards establishing a core data set that we hope will improve not only these reports, but will allow other countries to have their own registries so that they can be contributing as well. And I'd very much like to acknowledge the hard work of Manuela in supporting this, and also Dendrite, who's our guardian, our data custodian. So I encourage you to get a copy of the book from the Dendrite stand and the IFSO stand, I believe, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendy. So now it's time to finish, to adjourn the opening ceremony. You realized has been new, something new, very formal, but something new. So I like to finish this opening ceremony thanking you, all the delegates, again, for coming here I hope you enjoy your stay here, and especially the family of the delegates or the family of them. Please enjoy not also the meeting, but also the city, and the friendship of the Spanish people. So now, please, all of you guys are invited to leave the auditorium and to go to the 3rd floor, where, the middle, you can find something peculiar, remind you some Hispanic Brazilian, ambient. So let's go. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the evening.